Swiflearn online classes. Hi, so I hope you are all doing great, right? Okay, so today this is the session for the microorganism chapter, okay, which is there in class 8. So this is the second session. So before going to the topic, let us see what Swiflearn is, okay? So, as you already know, that the Swiflearn is India's most sincere learning destination for classes 3 to 10. Yes, so what do we get from here? We give the 100% live and interactive classes. So, all the classes are 100% live where the student can ask any sort of doubt, discuss the question answer with the teacher, and the teacher explains everything in the live classes. Fine. Secondly, we give the personalized attention to all the students in our batches because our batches consist of maximum number of 6 students. So it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and maximum 6, which help us to give attention to each of the students. Thirdly, we have a very good dedicated academic mentor team who always track and work on the students' progress. So, how the students are attending the classes, how they are doing the homework, how they are performing in the various tests, everything is tracked by our academic mentor, and accordingly, we give the classes for them. Okay, and fourthly, which is the most important one, that is we covered the syllabus, whole syllabus, whatever you have in your school exam. So this is very important, है ना? So we can also handle the custom request. So if you request for any particular topic to revise it or do it more practice, so we accordingly give extra classes and handle this custom request. So these are all about the Swiflearn, and let us now go to see that what are the key features of Swiflearn. So we have certain key features. Jesse, first of all, is the detailed progress reports go to the parents, like how the students are performing in the classes, how they are performing in the homework, how they are performing in the different test series. Everything is tracked, and the progress report go to the uh, parents. Secondly, we have the SATs, that is the Swiflearn Academic Test Series, which happen every Saturday, so Sunday. So the students can perform in this academic test series, and accordingly, they can find out where they stand. Okay. Thirdly, we have a lot of unlimited practice test series. So after completing every chapter, the student can perform the practice test. They can go through them. There are the various MCQ type of question as well as the objective and subjective types of questions. So the students can perform all the different test series, and they will be able to understand where they are lagging, in which topic they need some more uh, performance or some more practice, so accordingly they can perform. Okay, and the fourth one is very important, that is the subjective test. We also have the subjective test for the school exams, where the students will be able to write the whole answer along with the diagram and whatever is needed in the answer for getting full marks. So sometimes it may be like the student know the answer, the concept better, but they do not express it while writing the answer, है ना? So we have a number of teachers who continuously correct all the answers and accordingly say this, tell to the students that where to improve and how they can improve. So these are all about the Swiflearn we have over here. So book a free trial class and see how the classes go on. Okay, so that is all about Swiflearn. So for that, for joining the Swiflearn and go through all the different online classes, you subscribe to our channel, press on the bell icon so that you will get updated, or you will be updated with all the different classes which is coming nearby. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to like our channel, comment and share it with your friends and family. Okay, so let us now enter into today's topic. So, as I have already mentioned, that today's topic of discussion is microorganism, right? So, this is the second session of microorganism, which the first session already we have done, right? Okay, so today we will learn about the various useful and harmful microorganism. Fine. So we have already studied about the different characteristic features of the different microorganism. What are microorganism in the first session? And also the various diseases which are caused by the different microorganism in the last session, right? So today we will discuss about how useful the microorganisms are. Okay. So how they help in making curd, making bread, how the different commercial uses of the microorganisms are. It helps in the fermentation process, in the medicinal uses, medicinal purposes. Microorganisms are used. They are used to form the antibiotics. These will be they are also used to form the vaccines. Okay, so these are the different useful things which we get from the microorganism we will discuss today. And also they have some bad things or the harmful effects, that is they can spread different types of communicable diseases. They can cause the food poisoning. There are various types of pathogens and carriers who carry the different germs. We will study all about these also. So we will again study about the role of microorganisms in cleaning the environment or increasing the fertility of the soil. Okay, and the various types of diseases which are caused by them in human being as well as plants as well as the animals. Okay, and the different diseases caused by the microbes in human and plants. So all these topics today we will cover in this session. Fine. So let's start. Okay. Let me say a very small introduction about the microorganism which we already discussed in the previous class also. So what are the microorganism and how do we find it or where do they live? Can you anybody tell me? Yesterday we have already discussed in the session 1. Yes? Okay, so the everything in our environment consists of the two main things, right? We can see them as the living things and the non-living things. So this living things and the non-living things are visible. Generally, we can see them, but there are also a different type of thing which we cannot see, but they are also present around us all the time. It can be present on your table, laptop, mobile phone in your hand also, or it can be present in any sort of temperature, like it can be present in the very hot desert, in the very cold polar ice cap regions. Okay, so these are the different very small things which we cannot see through our naked eyes. They are the microorganisms. Fine. So we are studying about the microorganisms. Okay, chalo. So we have already studied what are they. So can you tell me some of the answers? What are the microorganisms? We already discussed in the last session. Yes. Anybody in the chat box? Okay, so the microorganisms are the living organisms which are too tiny, too small in size that we cannot see them through our naked eyes. We need the microscope for looking into them, right? Okay. My next question, before going to the next question, can I ask you like what are the different areas or where are the different places where we can find the microorganisms? You can refer to the images and tell me. Yes. Okay. It can be in the soil, it can be in the very hot desert, it can be in the polar ice cap, it can be under the ocean or sea, right? Even it can be within our body. Yes, we can find the microorganisms everywhere, but we cannot see them through our naked eyes. Okay, chalo. So my next question is list down the various groups of microorganisms. Can you tell me what are the different groups of microorganisms? I have already mentioned them in the previous session. Yes, we have studied a lot of thing about them, the detail of all the groups. Yeah, remember? Yes, so they are divided into five main groups. Okay, so what are they? They are the bacteria, fungi, protozoa, algae, and virus. So these are the five main categories of the microorganisms. So virus is considered is a it's a different type of microorganism because their characteristics features are very much different from the other microorganisms. Okay. Chalo, so let's move on to the next topic. So today we will mainly discuss about the microorganisms and us, how we continuously interact with the microorganism in our daily life. So microorganisms play an important role in our lives. You already know that some of them are very much useful or beneficial, right? In many ways, while some of them are harmful. And that is why we can say that the microorganisms are both our friends as well as our enemies. Yeah. Okay, so let us find out what are the roles played by the microorganisms. So, can you tell me before going to the next slide that what are the different roles which are played by the microorganisms? Yes. Yes. Okay, very good. So the microorganisms help in the preparation of the card. Okay, they help to make the card, they help to make the bread, they also help to make the cake. Okay, and sometimes cheese. Yeah, idli, dosa, they also help to make all these types of food. Hannah, so can you name some of the microorganisms? Hi, Manpreet. Hi, beta. Okay. So, can you tell me the microorganism which help to make the curd? Yes, from the milk it converts into curd. Yes, that is the lactobacillus. Very good. So, for the making of the curd, we have the bacteria which is present, that is the lactobacillus. Okay, so they promote the formation of the curd. So, they convert the milk into the curd. Okay. Other than this, there are also the other different food which are made by the bacteria, like the cheese, pickles, and also some of the microorganism help in making the bread and cake. So generally bread and cake are made by the yeast. Yeah. Okay. So can you tell me any name of the bacteria which help to make the cheese? Yes. Okay, actually, this names of this bacteria is not there in your syllabus. For just general knowledge, I'm telling you one bacteria which help to make the cheese and pickles. Okay, so we can say that Lactococcus. I'm writing the name. You can write it from here. Lactococcus, lactobacillus. They also help in making the cheese. Okay, and what about the pickle? Can you tell me any bacteria which help to make the pickle? Yes. It is also the Lactobacillus plantarum, a different species of Lactobacillus. Okay, Lactobacillus brevis. Okay, so I'm just writing L for the Lactobacillus brevis. Okay, so these are the different bacteria which help to make the pickles. Okay, so from here we can come to understand that there are various types of things, various types of microorganisms which already continuously help us to make the various types of food, and these are the delicious food, है ना? Yes. So, can you tell me why the curd is an important ingredient for the idli batura or making of the suji, that is rava? Yes. Yes. Do you know that the curd is used to make all these things? Yes. Okay. So the curd actually has the microbacterium, that is lactobacillus. You have heard about it? Yeah. So the lactobacillus is present in the curd. Yes. Who continuously do the anaerobic type of respiration. So they perform the anaerobic type of respiration where they release the carbon dioxide. Okay, they release the carbon dioxide. Okay, so while releasing the carbon dioxide, they actually, what happened, the carbon dioxide make the dough to rise up. Okay, and then when we bake or like fry the different things, the ingredients, there's carbon dioxide escape from the food, and they make this idli, dosa, batura soft and spongy. So this is done by the curd. This is the main role played by the bacteria which is present in the curd. Fine. Okay. So have you got an idea how the curd help us to make the idli dosa so much yummy? Yes? Okay. Now let's find out the other different facts which are done by the microorganism to produce the various types of food. Okay. So we have already studied about the yeast. So in which group it comes into? Yes, it is a type of fungi. Very good. So the yeast is, hi Heath. Okay, so the yeast is a microorganism that produces the carbon dioxide during the respiration. Here also, what type of respiration takes place? Anaerobic respiration. Okay, that is in absence of oxygen. So what do they do? The bubbles of these gases fill the dough and it increase the volume, and that is used to make the bread, cakes, and pastries in the baking industries. Fine. This is how these are all made by with the help of the yeast. Fine. Up to this much clear? Yes. Okay. Now let's move on to the fermentation process. So do you know what is fermentation? Yes. It is actually a type of chemical process. Okay. So in this chemical process, what happened? The complex organic food substances are uh, converted into the simple ones. Just say here one example is given. Just say the sugar is converted into the alcohol with the help of the different microorganisms. So which microorganisms help to make the alcohol? Here it is the yeast. Okay, so the process of conversion of the sugar into the alcohol with the help of the yeast is known as the fermentation. Fine. We can also call this as the alcoholic fermentation. Okay, so this is also called as the alcoholic fermentation because of the formation of the alcohol. Fine. Okay, so do you know who discovered it? It was discovered by a famous scientist, Louis Pasteur, in 1857. Got it? Okay. Now let's come to see about the various commercial uses of the microorganisms. So microorganisms have been used for a various types of things for making the various types of items. What are they? Apart from the alcohol, there are the wine, there are the vinegars. Continuously, these are made by by the action of the various types of the microorganisms since a long period of time. Okay. Okay, other than this, can you tell me what are also prepared from by with the help of the microorganisms? Yes. Yes, beta, Heath, yes, we do ferment while making the jalebi also. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Hi, Padan. Okay. It's a good bacteria. Yes, lactobacillus is a good bacteria. Very good, Heath. Very good. Okay. So, what can we also prepare with the help of the microorganism? What are the other different economic importance? Can you tell me? Yes. Very good. We can also make the antibiotics, right? Yes. So let us move on to the antibiotics, or let us see what are the different medicinal uses of the microorganisms. So what are the different medicinal uses? They help to make the antibiotics as well as they help to make the vaccines. So what are actually the antibiotics? They are the medicines which help to kill or stop the growth of the bacteria. Okay, the various disease causing bacteria which can attack us. Okay, so while going to the doctor, if we have any sort of bacterial infection, they give us the antibiotics. है ना? Yes, so there are various microorganisms who make this antibiotics, right? Okay, some of these antibiotics are there like the streptomycin, tetracycline, erythromycin. They are generally made from the fungi and bacteria. Okay, but you should be very much careful that there are the different dosage of the antibiotics. You should take the proper dosage of that, which are prescribed by the doctors. Do not take the antibiotic without any reason. Why? Because the antibiotics, if you just consume that without any reason or unnecessarily, then they can also kill the useful bacteria which is present in your body. Okay, they can kill the beneficial bacteria of the body also. Fine. So that is why we always should concern with the doctor. They will give the proper dosage of the bacteria according to your infection, and then only we have to take the antibiotics. Fine. Up to this much clear, I guess. Yes. Okay, chalo. So let us see more about the antibiotics. They are made by growing the different microorganism. It can be the fungi, it can be the bacteria in the culture medium in the laboratory, which are used to cure the various types of diseases. Fine. So these are added with the feed of the livestock also, poultry also, so that they will not be getting any sort of microbacterial infections. Okay, and the microorganisms are also used for controlling the various types of plant diseases. So we also give the different antibiotics while growing the different crops, right? Yes. Okay. Chalo. So do you know who first discovered the antibiotic? What was the first antibiotic discovered? It was penicillin. Okay, yes, it was penicillin, which was first extracted from one fungi. What is the name of the fungi? Do you know? Yes, the name of the fungi is Penicillium notatum. Okay, from this fungi it was first extracted. Okay, the penicillin is the name of the antibiotic which was discovered in 1928 by the famous scientist, Scottish famous scientist, that is Alexander Fleming. Okay, so you have to keep it in mind. Okay, so if you get a question like what is the first antibiotic and who discovered it, and what is the name of the microorganism from which it is produced, will you be able to answer? Yes. Okay, very good. Now let's move on to the vaccine. So we are very much concerned about the vaccine in the last years. Like, we are very much eager to get the vaccine of the COVID-19, है ना? So do you know what is vaccine? Yes, you have an idea what do you mean by vaccine? Yes, very good. They are actually the dead and weakened microbes which are injected in our body so that we can get a very good resistance power, or it actually boosts up the immunity power against a particular disease. Fine. So that is why vaccination is very much needed for our body. Okay. So it is the substance used to stimulate or production of the antibodies in our body. So in our body, antibodies are produced and they provide the immunity against any sort of diseases. Fine. So when the disease causing germs or microbes enter in our body produce the antibodies. Fine. Accordingly, they have to fight out with that diseases. So when we take a very low dose of very like weak or dead organism within our body, so already our body will be able to memorize them for the long period of time, and whenever the same type of virus or bacteria attack us or enter in our body, our antibodies will be able to fight them out quickly. Fine, that is why vaccination is very important. So, we have come to know about the antibodies. This is a very important and also a new word to you, right? So, what do you mean by antibodies? They are the large Y-shaped bodies, okay, Y-shaped proteins which are produced by our plasma cells, which are used by the immune system to neutralize the effect of any sort of disease causing microbes. So when any sort of disease causing microbes are entering in our body, our antibodies will be produced from the plasma cells and they will fight out all those disease causing microorganisms. Fine. This is a picture of the antibody, this Y-shaped picture. Just look after this. Okay, got it? Very good. So this is actually our antibodies are increased by getting the vaccines properly, right? So this process of taking the vaccine is known as vaccination. Okay, so what do you mean by vaccination? It is the treatment with a vaccine to increase our immunity power, okay, to enhance the immunity against any sort of diseases. So there are various types of diseases like the cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, hepatitis, which can be prevented by the vaccination. So, can you tell me some of the names of the vaccines? Some names of the vaccines which we generally take in our lifetime? Yes, we take the BCG vaccine, which is given for tuberculosis to control tuberculosis, right? Yes. Any other name of the vaccine? Hepatitis B vaccine, very good. Yes. Tetanus, very good. Polio vaccine. है ना? So these are the common types of vaccine generally which we take, right? Hi Heath. Penicillin made by boy with cowpox he got okay, but then when smallpox came in his body he didn't got it. Very good. Yes, beta. Yes. Yes, Heath. I will come to that one. Okay. So do you know who discovered the vaccine first? Yes. Huh, measles also. Very good, Heath. Who discovered the vaccine first? It was the doctor Edward Jenner. Okay, he discovered the vaccine first. Fine. Okay, it was a vaccine for the for controlling the smallpox. Fine. Okay, so this is all about the vaccination. Now let us move on to the increasing of the soil fertility. So there are various microorganisms, the bacteria which are present in the soil, which fix the nitrogen of the atmosphere and they convert it into the usable form which increase the fertility of the soil. Right? So these microorganisms are also known as the biological nitrogen fixer. Yes, can you give me any name of that organism, microorganism, which fixes the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil and increase the fertility of the soil? Yes, very good. Rhizobium. You have already heard about this bacteria, right? Okay, so rhizobium actually helps in fixing the nitrogen into the soil. They are generally present in the root nodules of the leguminous plant. Can you see this? These are the nodules of the roots, right? I'm circling in the diagram. Yeah. Okay. So they present over there and help to fix the nitrogen and increase the fertility of the soil. Fine. Okay. Other than this, there are various microorganisms who also are used for cleaning the environment. Can you tell me how do they clean the environment? Any idea? Yes. Any idea how do the microorganisms help in cleaning the environment? Yes. By decomposition process. Yes. So when the organic waste products, it can be from the peels of the fruits or the vegetables or the dry leaves, when they are present in the soil, they are broken down into manures. Okay, they help to produce the manures, and this production of manures from these types of organic materials are done by various types of bacteria. Okay, so that is how they clean the environment. Fine. And also, we already know that the earthworm are the farmer's friend, right? So they also help in increasing the fertility of the soil. Fine. Okay. Now, these are all about the beneficial effects of the microorganism. Now, let us move on to the harmful microorganisms. Okay. So, what can be the harmful effects? We have already mentioned in the last class. Yes, can you tell me? Yeah, they cause a varieties of diseases in the human being. Not only the human being, they causes the various types of diseases in plants, in other animals also, and also within our body, right? Apart from that, they also spoil the food. They also like grow in the clothings if you don't use the clothes for a long period of time, and if there is moisture, then the fungal growth can happen on the cloth. It can grow in the leather and waste the leather, spoil the leather, right? So these are the different harmful effects which are done by the microorganisms. So the disease causing microorganisms are also known as the pathogen. Fine. Yes. So let us see the disease causing microorganism in the human. So the microorganism can enter in our body generally through the air. When we breathe in, it goes to our respiratory tract and infect the respiratory system. Yes, it can also enter inside our body with the food and drink. When we eat them or when we drink the water, the contaminated water, it enters into the digestive system and it causes a lot of problem in our body, right? It causes a various types of diseases. So they can also be transmitted by the direct or indirect contact with the infected person or carried through an animal also. So, how can it be carried to the animal and it will enter inside our body? Yes. Have you ever thought it? Yes. Yeah, so the different types of animals can go and sit on the carpet and they can again come and sit on our food. And accordingly, from the food, when we eat that contaminated food, that food will create large problem in our body. है ना? Yes. So the microbial diseases which can cause in our body can be the cholera, it can be the common cold, chicken pox, tuberculosis, which can be spread from the infected person. So we can call these diseases as the communicable diseases or infectious diseases, the diseases which spread from one person to the other. Okay, from the infected person to the healthy person through air, water, food, or simple physical contact also they can get inside our body. So they can be caused by all the different types of harmful microorganisms. Fine. Okay, now let us find out what are the different diseases which are caused by them in our body. So we already know that tuberculosis, yes, it is caused by the one type of bacteria whose name is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. है ना? We already mentioned it in the last session. So they can enter inside our body through air. Okay, measles is caused by another microorganism, which is a virus, which can also be transmitted by the air. Chickenpox is another virus which can be transmitted inside our body through the air or any contact with the infected person. Fine. Coming to the polio virus, so we take the polio vaccine, right? The dropwise vaccine, we know that, yes. So the polio virus can also be transmitted from one person to another, or from the air, or from the water, right? So to prevent all these types of diseases, we should take the proper type of vaccination in a proper age. Yeah, so always keep it in mind. We have to take the proper vaccination to prevent this type of diseases. We have to keep the patient and his belongings completely isolated if they are infected with all these types of microorganisms. Fine. Okay. Other than this, let us find out what other diseases which can be caused. It can be the cholera, which is caused by the bacteria Vibrio cholerae. Yes. Okay. So they can be also caused by the contaminated food, contaminated water. The typhoid is caused by another bacteria, Salmonella typhi. Yes, remember. So it can be again caused by the water. It can be transmitted by water. Hepatitis A, hepatitis B virus, they are also the different types of virus which can be transmitted with the water. Okay, malaria can be caused by a type of protozoa, okay, which can be carried by the different mosquitoes. When the mosquitoes go and bite the infected person, and again by taking the blood, they are biting another healthy person. So the microorganism, that person will again get the same type of disease. Okay, it will also get the malaria. So can you name the protozoa which actually causes malaria? Yes. Plasmodium, right? Yes, very good. So it is carried by the mosquitoes. So again, for tolerating or for preventing the cholera and typhoid, we should take a proper vaccine. Okay, we have to maintain the personal hygiene, good sanitation habit. We have to clean our environment or our surrounding. We should keep it clean. We have to consume properly cooked food and boiled water. Okay, and to prevent the hepatitis A and malaria, we have to use the various types of things to protect ourselves from the mosquitoes. We should not like store the water nearby or inside our home in the cooler or any other different devices, so that they will not be able to lay the egg. Or we have to use the mosquito net, mosquito repellents, okay, or the spray of the insecticides, and control the we can use to control the breeding of the mosquitoes in our surrounding. Fine, that is how we can prevent ourselves from the different types of diseases. Fine. Okay, now let us find out who actually carries those diseases. So, generally, these are carried by the various types of insects. Most common insects, I will say, is the mosquitoes and the housefly. Okay, so what do? They go and sit on the garbage or the animal excreta, and then they again, so the germs will be attached with their body. Yes, and they will again come and sit on our food. Okay, and our food gets infected or contaminated, and when we consume that food or the same water, then we get the similar type of disease. So this type of organism who carries the germs and make our body ill, they are known as the carriers. Fine. So what are the carriers? There are some organisms who act as the agent of the disease causing microbes. Okay, they just carry the microbe from one place, and they just transport the microbes to the another place, which can be our food or anything, and when we consume it, we will get the proper type, that type of disease. Fine. Understood who are the carriers? Very good. So the malarial parasite is transmitted by the female Anopheles mosquito. So here the female Anopheles mosquito acts as a carrier. Okay, and also the dengue parasite is caused by, it is carried by the female Aedes mosquito. Okay, so over here the female Aedes mosquito acts as a carrier. Very good. Hi Heath, yes beta. Protozoa cause cholera? No, cholera is caused by the bacteria. Okay, Vibrio cholerae. Fine beta. Yes, got it. Chalo. Now let us find out the different types of microorganism, how they cause the diseases in other animals other than human. Okay, there are also the various types of microorganisms who cause the diseases in cow, goat, and all, right? The other different types of animals, the dog, cat. Okay, so the most common disease I can say it is the anthrax. Okay, which is a dangerous disease for the human as well as the cattle. Okay, it is also caused by one type of bacteria. So can you name that bacteria who causes this anthrax? Yes. Yes, it is Bacillus anthracis. Okay, it is caused by the Bacillus anthracis. This is the bacteria which cause the disease anthrax in the cattle mainly, and also sometimes in case of the human being. Okay, they get a very high fever, sometimes convulsion, and in extreme cases it leads to death also. Fine. Other type of diseases which can be caused by another virus is the foot and mouth disease of the cattle. Fine. Understood. So these are also caused by the various types of microorganisms. So this anthrax was like discovered by Robert Koch. Okay, this bacteria of the anthrax was first discovered by Robert Koch. He was a scientist. This bacterium which he discovered, which is causing the anthrax, is Bacillus anthracis. Fine. Okay, now let us move on to the different types of diseases which are caused in the plants. Can you tell me some of the name of the diseases which are caused in the plants? Yes, yes, the citrus canker. Yeah, the wheat rust. Yes, have you heard of this? Very good. So some of the microorganisms causes the diseases in plants such as wheat, may rice, potato, sugar cane, orange, apple, any other citrus fruits also, bhindi. Okay, the different types of microorganisms attack the who actually cause these types of diseases. So bacteria causes the citrus canker. Okay, it is caused by a bacteria and it enters into the plant body through air. Fine. So, do you know the name of the bacteria which actually cause this citrus canker? It is a disease which is caused in the citrus fruits. Fine. So, can you name the bacteria? Xanthomonas. Okay, the name of the bacteria is Xanthomonas species. Fine. So, they actually attack the stem, leaves, and the fruits of the citrus plants. Okay, so they form the lesions on the citrus plants. Fine. Second one is the rust of wheat. Okay, it is done by a fungi and they cause the they also affect the stems, leaves, and grains of the wheat. Okay, these are also transmitted through the air and seed. And let's come to the okra. The disease which is caused in the okra or vindi is the yellow vein mosaic of the vindi. Okay, it is caused by a virus. It can be affected by the different, it can be transmitted by the different insects. So what happen in this disease? The leaf of this okra plant becomes, the veins of the leaves become yellow in color. Okay, like these are the leaves. I'm trying to draw it. Okay, so the veins becomes yellowish in color. Okay, and they gives a very less production of the crop. Fine. This is also another disease which is caused in the bhindi plants. Fine. Up to this much clear. If you have any question, you can ask me in the chat box. Yes. Okay, let's now find out what other harmful effects are caused by the different microorganism. They also cause the food poisoning. Okay, when they are present in the different food, they contaminate the food, and when we consume the food, we will get the food poisoning. Okay, so the microorganism that grow on our food produce the toxic substances and makes the food poisonous, which can create a very serious disease in our body, mainly in our digestive system. Fine. So it is very important that we have to preserve the food properly to prevent the growth of any sort of microorganisms. Fine. So in the next lesson, we will next session we will discuss about the food poisoning and how we can preserve the food. What are the different ways of preserving the food so that we can prevent the growth of the microorganisms in them. Okay, so that is all about today's session. So let us quickly discuss some of the question answers. Yes. So if you have any question, you can ask me over here. Hi, Bandana. Hello, beta. Okay. Chalo. So tell me the name of the instrument which is used to see the microorganism. Who can tell me? Let me find out. Yes. Anybody? What is the instrument we use for looking into the microorganism? It is the microscope, right? Very good. Now let's move on to the second question. Define fermentation. What do you mean by fermentation? Anybody in the chat box? Hi Bandana, can you tell me what is fermentation? Yes. Heath also? Yes. Okay, very good. So the fermentation is the process of conversion of the sugar into alcohol with the help of the different microorganisms, especially yeast. Fine? Okay. Now, cholera is caused by whom? Who can cause the cholera? Yes. I have also told the name of the microorganism. Yes, can you find out? Yes, it is caused by the bacteria whose name is Vibrio cholerae, right? Very good. So that is all about today's discussion of the question answer and the session of all the different topics, right? So this is your homework. You will write down all these six answers and I will check it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I will find it in the chat box, I guess, right? So, what are the question you will do in the homework? You will have to define antibiotics. Secondly, what do you understand by the vaccination? We have already studied about vaccination today, right? What are the pathogens? Fine. Then, what are the communicable diseases and any name to any of the communicable diseases? Yes, which can be spread from one person to another. Fine. Then name any two plant diseases that are caused by the microbes. Okay, you will be able to write it. And finally, you have to describe the food poisoning. Okay, so these are your questions for homework. Okay. Chalo, so do the homework, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me over here. Okay, so let us see what we have already learned today in this today's session. We have already learned about the usefulness and harmful effects of the microorganisms. We have already studied about the process of making the curd and bread with the help of the microorganism. We have already studied about the commercial uses of the microorganisms, or we can say the economic importances, right? Then the process of fermentation, the different medicinal uses of microorganisms, antibiotics, what are the communicable diseases, food poisoning. We have also studied about the vaccines and vaccination, right? The also the various names of the vaccines. Fine. Then we have studied about the pathogens and the carriers, then the role of the microbes in cleaning the environment and also in increasing the fertility of the soil. Fine. And finally, we discussed about the various diseases caused by them in human being, plants and animals. Okay, so the different diseases, also the common diseases which are present, which are caused by them in the plants and animals. Fine. So these are the different topics which we have already discussed today. So I guess you have understood everything, right? If you have any question, any doubt, you can write it in the chat box. I'll solve it. Okay. Okay, chalo. So this is all about today's session. So again, we will meet in the next session. Before that, what you have to do is subscribe our channel, press the bell icon so you will be updated by all the upcoming sessions. Okay, so do like our sessions, comment and share with all your friends and family members. Fine. Okay, so till then, bye bye. Take care. Stay healthy and stay safe. We will again meet in the next session. Bye bye.